Have you seen, speaking of frame rate, there's so much like film conversation I want to have with you that I can't because I haven't seen anything.
I have seen stuff.
Have you seen Into the Spider-Verse?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Of course I've seen that. Yeah. They
No. First of all, they didn't film anything. It's animated. First of all, they didn't film anything.
Yeah. I know they didn't film anything.
Second of all, don't give me that. You haven't seen The Godfather.
No, I know, but what I was going to say is that the point you're about to make about frame rate is that things are animated at different frame rates in that film.
Amazing.
Which give it that kind of like, almost like it's, what's that technique called when you've got like a camera, stop motion, where you're taking pictures of everything and then, the new Pinocchio is stop motion, I believe.
It's fucking weird, the new Pinocchio.
I haven't watched it. I wanted to watch it, but I put it on and I was like, the style wasn't like captivating.
To be fair, I also haven't watched it, but I watch video essays and stuff about it. I've seen bits of it, but it just looks odd. And Tom Hanks, I don't really like him.
You don't like Tom Hanks? He's in some good.
I really like him as an actor. Yeah, I've seen Big.
No, sorry, I've got to ask you a question now. I just got to ask.
No.
I'm going to take it offensively if I ask you if you've seen something like that.
Yeah. I'm going to take it racially. It's Grenadian independence. I'm going to take everything racially today. And it's Black History Month in America. No, I like him as an actor, but I've heard so many like rumors about him. You know, we're just about like you don't know what's true and what's not in terms of the internet. So I'm like,
what have you heard about him?
Like Epstein Island stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Tom Hanks?
Yeah. That's what I thought. I thought the same.
Surely not. Yeah, surely not.
Good. I'm glad you've seen that film. Otherwise, that would have landed flat.
No. I just honestly, he's been in some good films.
I know.
I guess
he's like one of the highest grossing actors. Like his movies, but he's in a lot of movies. But I think Sam Jackson is number one.
And like I took inspiration from his. I don't know if you've seen his. He's on YouTube. They do like an actors roundtable.
Yeah. There's the Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah, and they all come up with like I don't know all the experiences and then different like.
He was on the one with Robert De Niro.
Yeah, and he came up with the whole comment like this too shall pass.
I saw that as well. That's proper you. You love
I love all that stuff. So obviously it doesn't quite land if.
I feel the same.
I
feel exactly. I feel like I should have told you, but I feel exactly the same.
You might.
But now when I watch it,
your heroes.
Not if you're an underage. You know what? Never mind. But but it's just in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
That I'm like.
Yeah. I know. That's what affects me with Will Smith.
Yeah.
And now I can't watch House of Cards. I haven't finished House of Cards because of Kevin Spacey.
I'm so lucky that I finished House of Cards beforehand. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I'm a massive fan of Kevin Spacey's work. He was in LA Confidential.
His film
not his stage work. His film LA Confidential. Me and Eunice watched on like a film night, which would definitely be a movie we'd react to. It's proper good. Noir. He was in A Time to Kill where he plays a racist guy, but he just plays that racist scumbag so well. House of Cards, obviously, it's just he's so good at what he does.
Yeah,
and he is someone
was in Call of Duty as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he is someone that just plays these roles that you can't imagine anyone else playing. Yeah, but then you can't look at him the same way.
No, exactly. It was a similar thing for one of my favorite bands. I went to see, Lost Prophets. And what's the guy's name? Ian.
I don't know.
I think it's called Ian Watkins. I think his name is.
Yeah.
I think that's it. But like when I saw him live, I was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" And then like,
is he the guy that says all that the weird racist stuff?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But like anyway, like afterwards, it comes out that he was. I'm pretty sure he was a rapist as well. Jesus. I can't even remember. But Anyway, loads of stuff came out about him, and I was just like, it just kind of ruined that experience for me because I saw him live. It was really. It's songs that I love and enjoy that I can't have on my playlist anymore because it
makes you wonder about like the chicken and the egg. Were these people rapists and then became successful, or was one of their drivers to be successful not to go and rape people but to have that power to go and to have that power over people to be able? Because I don't know how much you know about rape, but it is broadly speaking a mental crime more than a physical crime.
Right.
So people always say, what was she wearing? Irrelevant. Or people sometimes abuse the victim and say, oh, you're disgusting, who'd want to have sex with you? It's nothing to do with any of that stuff. It's nothing to do with how attractive the person is. It's a mental crime. It's about it's the person. They've been psychologically testing rapists and murderers since I think about the 40s or 50s. Okay. And overwhelmingly, it's mental emotional drivers, not physical drivers. There aren't, very, very rare is it a man can't get sex, therefore he rapes someone in order to get sex. There's prostitution, there's all sorts of ways that you could go about getting sex if it was just sex. It's a mental and emotional crime. Most people are raping people that they know. It's people that have broken up with them or people that have pushed them away, and it's how it makes them feel as a power balance. So it makes you wonder, were those issues there, or did they become successful? Because this is what we hear about a lot of footballers, is that they make loads of money, they put themselves in these environments where they get constant yeses from loads of women, and then when they get a no, and the women they might get yeses from might all be 10s, and then they get a no from a 7, this isn't my view, but like in the world view, do you know what I mean? And then they take it really badly, like they have this entitlement, like who the fuck are you to tell me no? You get it with rappers as well.
Yeah, well, you've read the book The Game, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know when he talks about negging, and then he talks about negging is like when you obviously know what it is.
I know what negging is.
I don't know if the viewers don't know. Viewers
You
might
tell
know what it
you're
is.
the expert. Obviously.
Nah, but like, you know when you kind of like you compliment someone but with slightly of an insult, so that it's like
Chips away at their self-esteem.
Yeah, chips away at their self-esteem, but like in a like you still complimenting them, but like you're drawing attention to something that now they might feel a bit conscious about.
But you also put yourself on a higher pedestal, because it's like all these guys think you're fit.
Yeah,
I think you're fit.
but,
In a kind of borderline disrespectful way.
Yeah.
Now you have to get my approval for me to think that you're as fit as these guys think that you are.
But anyway, to segue to my point, when he talks about that and he talks about approaching girls in a group, he always says like the one that you want to get to know better, avoid talking to her. Like just like ignore her
100%.
almost. Like put in all the effort with all the girls around her, or guys, depending on whichever or whatever sex you know that you're into. But yeah, talk girls fast. But yeah, like talk to everyone else in that circle, and then that girl that you're actually interested in will be thinking like, oh, hang on, why is he giving everyone else attention? What about me, kind of thing? And that's kind of like what you were talking there about there with the rape. It's like, oh, I can get any girl I want, and as soon as the girl's like, well, actually, I don't find you that attractive, it's like, well, hang on a sec, why don't you find me attractive?
Right.
But then like, to be honest, I've never thought about it in terms of like obviously I know what rape is, but I've never sort of dug deep into what's the psychology of rapists or blah blah blah. So like, you know, those questions about what's she wearing, is she asking for it, like obviously I think that's dumb. Like you know, like she's probably wearing something that she's confident in being in, like when she's out.
But also women are raped in all types of clothes. Men just make this analysis that if you are, you know, if you're wearing something, you know, revealing, you're going to be.
Like
but again, people have the view that rape is a physical crime.
Yeah.
Which it isn't. Do you know what I mean? Overwhelmingly, it's people that are going to rape their exes that have broken up with them or stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like 90% of all rape cases are somebody that the victim knows personally. Not, you'll see it in movies where someone gets conked over the head and dragged into an alleyway. That's super minute levels of rape. That's really, really rare that happens. And when that happens, typically the person's probably going to get murdered. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's like, you know, not interesting, but how much of that we have in society.
What, in terms of how often it's done?
How regular? Yeah, we have. I think in the UK, because there's been a police officer. Don knows more about it than me, but there's been a police officer that's been charged with all these different rape cases. And I googled it this morning. There's like 90,000 rape victims in the UK every year. 90,000.
That's wild.
That's 365 days in a year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I mean, that's 300 women getting raped every day. In a fairly small country. And also they said apparently 1 in 4 women who's an adult, 1 in 4 will experience rape or sexual assault. So it's super huge.
Those aren't small numbers. You wouldn't like your odds. 1 in 4. Like huge. Going out in London one day, you 100%. Just
that's why people don't, like, loads of women don't, like, I think we spoke about this before, but like when I go out for walks late at night to like clear my mind, listen to music and stuff like that, and sometimes if I see a woman like looking over her shoulder or something like that, I'll walk the scenic route to get home,
across the road,
to not make her feel like, you know, because there's I don't know, I could try and talk to her to break the ice, I could try and smile at her, but everyone's going to receive those advances differently. So for every person you smile at and they go, oh, he seems nice, you could smile at someone else, they'd go, oh my God, he's going to fucking kill me. Do you know what I mean? So I just don't like somebody viewing me in that light. I would rather take the scenic route and go home.
But isn't that worrying, like the psychology of both ends of the spectrum there? Like a woman has to look around and be like, you know, am I safe on this side of the road? You know, like, oh, there's a guy behind me, like, I wonder if he has any ill intentions, blah, 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 blah. But then the guy also has to think, shit, am I too close to this woman? Is she going to feel like not safe? Should I cross the road? Should it's just a reflection of where we are in society and how people, like, if they're gonna walk late at night, they're probably not gonna have their headphones in. If they're probably gonna take the route where there's loads of lighting, they're not gonna go into parks or anything like that. And it's just a bit, I don't know, it's just a bit restrictive almost, and a bit like we shouldn't be thinking like that. You
I
know?
just-
People
I
should
think that
feel more free.
A lot of people say, "Oh, it's the way things are these days," and I hate whenever people say that about these days. People say it when it comes to dating.
Yeah.
Oh, chivalry's dead these days. I hate these days.
Yeah.
We're living in the safest time ever, and it's still bad. It just means that it was even worse before. We might not have had all the facts, the statistics, whatever. We wouldn't have heard about it, but you know, it was just really, really bad previously. Do you know what I mean? So I think that we have to reflect on that as like how bad it must have been for this to be progress where we are today.
Yeah, but when we say these days, like I'm pretty sure I just said it, but I guess I don't have any experience in.
I know, but that's why it doesn't make sense to be like these. Like domestic violence in like the 50s was super normal. Super normal. But women always go, or like loads of people say, "Oh, I just want to romance like the 50s." You are romanticizing what things used to be like, based on movies and TV shows, when actually it wasn't like that. Like you could watch. You probably haven't seen Downton Abbey.
No.
Such a good show.
Really?
Such a good show. I love a period drama. It's one of my guilty pleasures. I love a period drama. But if you watch Downton Abbey, and then there's another show that I watch called Ripper Street, which is about the police force dealing with Jack the Ripper.
Okay.
They're roughly the same time period. One is showing white middle class people in Yorkshire, and one is showing the gritty streets of East End when Jack the Ripper is around. They're about 20 years apart in timeline, but they are drastically different. And the London one is like gritty. There's prostitutes everywhere, because that's like most of the jobs that women can even get jobs at that point. Do you know what I mean? There's prostitutes everywhere. They've got child slavery, kids up chimneys, various gangs. Like it was super violent, like super violent and stuff like that. Whereas if you're watching Downton Abbey, you could romanticize that time period. You go, "Oh, I'd love to go back to a time like that," when it isn't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it isn't like
it's not. That's not accurate to how you would have lived.
Yeah, but that I was about to say, like, we could pull out the race card here, where like, you know how you were saying, we were kind of having a conversation off camera, like people don't really know about the black people that they don't want us to know about. And it's similar in terms of how these TV shows are made. They're portraying what they want you to remember about
on that
the time.
perfectly on that. There's a TV show called Bridgerton. Have you seen it?
No, but
you've heard of it?
Yeah.
So Bridgerton made a massive. There were loads of debates about it and stuff, because what it was a period drama at a time when everybody would have been white, but they've blind casted it, so they've made it mixed race of people. So in one way, they're trying to make it a good thing, because it's like, for black people, we don't have any of those stories. We don't have that we have that history, but not here in England. So they're trying to be nice and sweet and like, "Oh, you're welcome too." But in another way, they are. I know it's a fantasy show, but they are kind of, because people are thick, they're kind of miseducating people. So some people are watching it and not realizing how fake it is, and then saying to black people, "What are you moaning about? You've had lords and ladies since the 20s." We're like, "No, we haven't. We really haven't." So you're not giving us the chance to tell our own stories, because you're telling our fantasy stories. That's not accurate. Do you know what I mean? So it had like a big. It didn't have the impact that I think that they were trying to have. And I think the intentions were good, but I think the execution was flawed. But anyway.